I'm Bernina expert Amanda Murphy, and I'd like to show you how to use my Every Feather Spine and Every Feather Plume rulers. They're part of my Good Measure quilting ruler collection for Brewer sewing. So you can see here we have all different sizes of feather plumes. There are actually 5 sizes for each side of your feather. As with all of my rulers, these rulers feature a non-skid backing. So now I'm quilting plumes on a straight spine, and I'm going to pretend here like I'm quilting a border. So when you quilt a border, you actually don't want to close that first plume. Instead, you want to come back up to the top. This is actually what's called the bounce back method when making a feather. And so you can see I've created kind of a little hook. And you know what feather plume rulers really do is teach you the shape. You can see here I've quilted down into the hook and then quilted back up to the kind of top, the same point at the top of the hook. And then I shift my ruler up and create another feather back down into the spine. I like to quilt feathers like that because most people who want to quilt feathers with a ruler eventually want to be able to free motion quilt feathers, and I think that transition is a lot easier when you learn to quilt it as you would free motion feathers. So I've just traveled using the straight edge of my ruler up my straight spine, and now I want to be sure that when I quilt this next plume, it intersects the previous plume. So if I've gone a little too far and the stitching won't intersect the previous plume, I have to go back a few stitches. And now I quilt around until I bounce off the previous plume. And there are instructions with these rulers, so you'll see this in diagrams. Okay, and then I quilt back up to the top, and then I shift the ruler. And the reason why I leave that first plume open, as you can see here, is when I come around the border, I want to nest into that plume. I don't want that plume to appear in front of all the others. So here I am traveling up the spine again to get to my next set of plumes. So I'm doing them in pairs, and that minimizes backtracking, and this is what you get as a result. You can see a little better here that line on the ruler lines right up on top of the straight spine. What if you don't have a straight spine? I use my Every Feather spine to create a curved spine. So the way this works is you're going to stitch half of the curve and then the other half of the curve. And the ruler itself gives you a spine that undulates in 4-inch increments and in 6-inch increments. So I'm going to be placing that center line on the ruler right over my chalk line that delineates the center of my border. And I'm going to stitch over the ruler all the way over until I get into that little pocket on the other side, and I'm going to stop. If my ruler slips a little, I just simply stop and realign the ruler. Again, these rulers do have a non-skid backing, but it can happen, especially if you don't have a lot of pressure on the ruler. So now I'm rotating the ruler around, and I've aligned that line again on top of my chalk line, and I stitch the other part of the wave. And that's how you use the feather spine ruler. It is sold on its own, and the plumes are sold separately. A lot of times if I'm free motioning feathers, I like to still use a ruler for the spine. So now let's look at plumes on a curved spine. You make them the same way you do on a straight spine. Again, I start with the hook if I'm doing a border because I want to nest into that later, and I come back up to around the same point. Because I have a curvy spine and the curve changes, I can't use the straight spine line on the ruler to align the plume. So instead, I'm just going to approximate. And what I do is I bring out my ruler and I kind of look at that straight spine and make sure it's sort of over the curve that I'm near to. It doesn't have to be exact, it's pretty forgiving. And then I would stitch just as I stitch the feathers around the straight spine, I stitch back down in to the spine. So all of my plumes are going to be made in pairs still. So I move up the spine a little before I start the next plume. And I can either free motion up or use the edge of my ruler. It's kind of up to you what you'd like to do. And now I put my ruler back on and I stitch again. Up and out until I touch the previous plume, and then I'm going to change direction. So I'm coming around, and I just take my time. Slow and steady wins the race here. Okay, and when I get there, I reverse directions. And I stitch about up to the top. Where you stitch to really depends on whether the next plume is going to be smaller or bigger than the previous one. If it's smaller, you might have to come in a little more. If it's bigger, you won't have to come in so far. Once again, all my plumes are stitched in pairs, and the advantage of this is that you only have double stitching on the outer edge of every other plume. And this is the result.